Take a moment and think about this. You wake up every morning, look at yourself in the mirror, make your own decisions, choose your own likes and dislikes. You feel like you're in complete control of your life, entirely under your control. But what if I told you that the one thing you trust the most, your own brain, actually lies to you every single day, every single hour? And the most shocking part is you never even notice it happening. Because this lie is told so smoothly, so silently, that you mistake it for truth and live your entire life believing it. You make decisions based on this lie, build relationships around it, form opinions about yourself because of it, and never once stop to think that maybe the foundation itself is hollow. Today on Mind Decoded, we're going to decode exactly this. We'll understand how, why, and in what ways the human brain deceives its own owner. This isn't just information, it's a mirror that's going to make you face a side of yourself you've probably never looked at before. So if you're ready to explore a part of your mind you've never truly examined, let's begin. First, it's important to understand why the brain lies in the first place. The answer is simple: efficiency. Our brain processes millions of signals every single second. If it tried to deeply analyze every single one, we wouldn't be able to function normally for even one day. So the brain has created shortcuts for itself, which in psychology are called cognitive biases. Most of the time, these shortcuts actually help us make quick decisions. But because of these same shortcuts, our brain doesn't show us reality directly. Instead, it shows us a filtered, edited, and sometimes completely distorted version of it. And we, unaware, treat that version as the absolute truth. So let's decode these secrets, one by one. The first one is confirmation bias, and this is perhaps the most powerful and most dangerous bias of all. Confirmation bias means that once your brain has already formed an opinion about something, it only searches for information that confirms that opinion and either ignores or downplays any information that contradicts it. Think about it. If you already believe that someone doesn't like you, you'll turn every small action, every expression of theirs, into proof that yes, this is true, they don't like me. Even if that person is simply tired, in a bad mood, or reacting for a completely different reason, your brain will ignore all of that and only pick up what confirms your existing belief. The same thing happens on social media. If you believe in a particular political or social viewpoint, algorithms keep showing you content that reinforces that viewpoint. You slowly get trapped inside a bubble where only your own thinking echoes back at you, and you start believing the entire world thinks the same way you do. Confirmation. Bias isn't limited to relationships or social media. It shows up in career decisions, health choices, and major life decisions too. Once we've already invested money somewhere, we only look for news that justifies that investment, even when the risk is clearly visible. The second one is false memory, and this might surprise you, but science tells us that our memory doesn't work like a video recording. Instead, every time we recall an old memory, our brain reconstructs it, meaning it rebuilds it from scratch. And during this reconstruction, the brain mixes in a bit of its own fiction. That's why two people remember the same event completely differently. At a family gathering, two siblings will describe the exact same incident in totally different ways, both convinced they're telling the truth, when in reality, each person's memory has altered the event according to their own emotions and thoughts. Even more surprising, researchers have proven through experiments that people can be made to remember events that never actually happened. Just by repeating a false story enough times, the brain accepts it as part of its own real memory. So the next time you're 100% certain about something from the past, that you clearly remember it happened exactly like this, stop and think for a second. Did it really happen that way? Or has your brain shown you a completely new version of it? The third one is the overconfidence effect. There's a fascinating study in psychology where people were asked to rate their own driving skills, below average, average, or above average. Surprisingly, about 80% of people rated themselves as better than average drivers. But mathematically, not everyone can be better than average, because average is, by definition, the midpoint. Similarly, most people overestimate their own intelligence, decision-making ability, and understanding. This is called the overconfidence effect. This bias leads us to make poor decisions, because we think we know we're right, when in reality, we don't even have all the information. This bias becomes especially dangerous when people consider themselves experts in their own health or financial decisions and ignore professional advice. The phrase, "I know I can handle it," has caused significant losses in many people's lives. The fourth one is negativity bias. Have you ever wondered why one negative comment sticks in your mind more than 100 positive ones? This is an ancient evolutionary trick of the human brain. Thousands of years ago, when humans lived in the wild, recognizing danger was a matter of life and death. Those who remembered negative signals more intensely were the ones who survived. Even today, our brain follows the same old pattern. That's why one piece of criticism overshadows 10 compliments. And one piece of bad news ruins the mood for the entire day, and one mistake makes all our successes feel small. This negativity bias is exactly why people feel unsuccessful, despite having plenty of good things in their lives. Because the brain gives more weight to negative things. Understanding this bias is extremely important, because once you realize it's a natural mental tendency and not an accurate reflection of reality, you can protect yourself emotionally. The fifth one is self-justification. When we make a mistake, our brain immediately activates a defense mechanism. The job of this mechanism is to create a story in which we are right and the blame falls on someone or something else. For example, if someone misses a deadline at work, he'll immediately tell themselves that their boss gave them too much work, or that the system was slow. Rarely does anyone think, I didn't manage my time well. This self-justification bias prevents us from learning from our mistakes, because until we accept our own fault, we never even try to fix it. This bias also causes significant damage in relationships. During arguments, both people believe they are right and the other person is wrong because both of their brains have already built their own justification. The sixth one is anchoring bias. This means that the very first piece of information we receive has a deep impact on all our subsequent decisions, whether or not that information is even relevant. Take shopping as an example. If a shirt's original price is listed as $50, and then a sale tag brings it down to $20, we feel like we got an amazing deal, even if its actual value is only $15. Our brain has already anchored itself to that first $50 number, and all further decisions revolve around it. The same bias plays out in negotiations, salary discussions, and even personal relationships. Whatever first impression or first piece of information we receive becomes a permanent reference point in our minds. The seventh one is the bandwagon effect. Humans are social creatures, and because of this, our brains are naturally inclined to follow group thinking. The bandwagon effect means that if a lot of people believe in something or are doing something, we automatically start believing it's correct too, even if we haven't personally analyzed it at all. This is exactly why trends, viral content, and social pressure spread so quickly. People think that so many people are doing this, it must be right. When in reality, most of those people are also just following others. Nobody is actually thinking for themselves. And the eighth one is the halo effect. This is a bias where if we like one quality about a person, we automatically assume all their other qualities must be good too. For example, if someone is attractive, people automatically assume they're also more intelligent, more trustworthy, and more capable, even though there's no actual connection. This is exactly why celebrities and attractive people often win people's trust more easily, even when what they're saying doesn't actually hold much weight. So the question is, if the brain always lies, then what is truth? After learning all this, you might think that humans can never make a correct decision. But that's not the reality. Simply knowing about these biases is also in itself a form of power. Once you learn to recognize these patterns, you can pause your brain's automatic reactions and develop the habit of stopping to think before reacting. In psychology, this is called metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. Here are a few practical ways to protect yourself from these biases. First, actively seek out opposing views. Whenever you're 100% confident about something, deliberately search for information that contradicts your opinion. This is the most effective way to break confirmation bias. Second, verify your memories. If there's a disagreement over something from the past, don't rely solely on your memory. Check for evidence if possible. Third, follow the 24-hour rule before major decisions. Don't make big decisions, especially during emotional moments, immediately. Time allows the brain's emotional reaction to settle, letting you think more clearly. Fourth, start writing down your mistakes. Whenever you make a mistake, ask yourself what your role in it was. This works against self-justification bias. And fifth, put negative things into context. When one negative thing takes over your mind, deliberately recall 3 good things that happened that same day. This reduces the impact of negativity bias. The human brain isn't an enemy. It's simply trying to protect you in its own way. Even if that way is sometimes flawed, once you understand these biases, you step out of your brain's autopilot mode and take real control of your own thinking. That's the true purpose of Mind Decoded, to introduce you to your own mind, so that you don't just live on autopilot reactions, but make decisions in your life with real understanding and awareness. If this video was an eye-opener for you, let us know in the comments. Which of these 8 biases do you see the most in your own life? And if you want us to decode more secrets of the human mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, stay sharper than your own mind, because as much as it loves you, sometimes it lies to you too.